Now listen, it's absolutely ridiculous. Would you turn £5 million down, John?
If I was the Prime Minister...
No. Would you turn £5 million down?
Is that your answer? Is that your answer, that the Prime Minister received...
Would you turn it down?
Now, more on the, shall we call it a shock announcement from Nigel Farage a little earlier on this afternoon. He is resigning as an MP. He's fighting a by-election in his Clacton constituency. He wants to get back in, but with a new vote under his belt, and he wants to make the campaign, well, a sort of symbolic battle between him and his party against those he describes as the scheming establishment working together against him. Lee Anderson can give us his view on all of this. He's the MP for Ashfield, and he's the Reform UK Party Chief Whip. Welcome to you, Lee.
Welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, tell me, Lee, what do you make of Nigel Farage's news?
I think it's good news, actually. It gives a chance for the people of Clacton to have their say. At the moment, it's just the media circus, it's the establishment, it's the other parties in Parliament that's all been attacking Nigel over the past 2 years. It got worse and worse over the last few months. And you know what? It's time to put this to the people of Clacton. Let them have the decision who runs Reform UK. Let them make the decision who takes Reform into the next election, not the establishment, the people of Clacton.
Right, so that then I think it's fair to say is going to be the message that we're going to hear again and again as this election gets closer. It's going to be the big theme. I called it earlier on a shock announcement. Was it a shock to you, Lee? Did you know this was happening?
Well, we get briefed on certain stuff, John. We get a little bit of notice, not too much notice, because these things tend to leak out. But I fully support Nigel on this. It's the right decision. And I'll tell you what will happen. Here's my prediction. Nigel will win handsomely. We will go up in the polls again. It will give us another bounce. And this will send shockwaves through the establishment. They are frightened to death. We hear now that the cowardly other parties might be refusing to stand candidates. And there's only one reason for that, is because they're scared to death. They know what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, let me just mention, there's a bit of an echo on the line there. We're trying to sort that out now. I asked you whether this was a shock to you, though, for a reason. I mean, sometimes Nigel Farage, he leads from the front, let's put it that way. He's so far out in front, sometimes his own party and some of those very close to him don't know what he's doing until he does it. Was this one such case? When did you know that he was going to make this really interesting and important announcement?
Well, that's none of your business, John. It's nobody else's business. That's between me, Nigel, and the rest of the party. We like to keep things close to our chest. But hear this. This is Nigel putting his whole political career here on the line for his country. I've known Nigel a while now, and I know he's a thinking man. He's doing this not for Nigel Farage. He's doing it for the country. And I tell you what, I'll be down there campaigning with the rest of the People's Army. There will be Reform members, thousands of them, all around the country. We're going to make a big point. We're going to stand up for Nigel. Nigel's standing up for the party. He's standing up for the country. And mark my words, he will win handsomely. And like I said previously, he will send shockwaves through Parliament. These people that sit in this building here haven't got a clue what real people talk about in the real world. Nigel engages with the public. He knows what they're talking about. And he's the best man to lead this party forward and the best man to be the next Prime Minister.
We're getting you... Clearly, I can hear what you're saying, and so can our listeners. But I'm keen to just get rid of that echo if we can. I don't know if you've got a radio on where you are, Lee. If you have, there's a bit of an echo coming from that. Just have a look around immediately where you are. If there's something coming out of another speaker that we can hear. I want to hear your thoughts on this point, because by doing what he's doing, you say he's going to be mobilising public opinion against the establishment and the media and so on. But he's also, at least for the moment, ducking the scrutiny, the questioning, the whatever comes from the Standards Commissioner and the committee of MPs behind the Standards Committee. And some people will say that he's trying to escape that scrutiny at least for a while. Tell me why that's unfair, because I know you won't accept it. But the gift from Christopher Harborne, who's so important to your party, and not through multi-million-pound gifts to Nigel Anderson, he funds 2/3 of Reform. It's reasonable when money comes in of that kind, and especially when it comes in secretly and privately to your leader, to look at questions of transparency. Surely you would accept some strength in that point, Lee.
John, I think you and your colleagues in the media probably need to get out more in the real world. I can tell you something now. All this talk about donations and gifts, I have not had one single email in my inbox about this. Nobody is talking about this in the real world, on the doorstep. But I tell you what, since Nigel made his decision today in Millbank Tower, my inbox has been flooded with support. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about real things. They're talking about Nigel Farage leading us into the next election. They're not really talking about, the donations, the gifts and stuff like this. And he's not dodging any investigation at all. The investigation will carry on once he's elected back to Parliament.
Well, let me put this to you then, Lee, that you may well, or you may well not, have had messages from the public and your supporters on this question of donations. But I suggest that doesn't matter when it comes to an issue being important or not necessarily. If I suggest to you, and if I ask you directly, if Nigel Farage received £5 million in a cheque, no strings attached, we are told, are you saying that will not buy him any advantage of any kind? Will it not, for example... So this £5 million gift giver, he wants a meeting with Nigel Farage while Nigel Farage is sitting in number 10 Downing Street. OK, just imagine that. Can you also imagine Nigel Farage saying, no, I'm too busy?
John, I mean, I don't know where you're going with this conversation.
I'm being perfectly straightforwardly.
No, listen, it's absolutely ridiculous. Would you turn £5 million down, John?
If I was the Prime Minister...
No. Would you turn £5 million down?
Is that your answer? Is that your answer, that the Prime Minister receiving...
Would you turn it down?
I'm answering your question, Lee, if you'll allow me.
You're not answering
No, my answer is, if a politician is receiving a gift of £5 million, the public and that person's electors are entitled to wonder, has that person get any advantage in return?
He took the £5 million.
I'm not a politician. I'm a private citizen.
Was Nigel a politician when he took the £5 million?
Well, no, I know your answer is that he was not. But very, very shortly afterwards, he was an MP and a candidate. In some people's eyes, he was a favourite to be Prime Minister.
Time again. You see, this is one of the reasons...
I'm not evading your questions, Lee. I'm addressing them.
John, listen, please listen. This is one of the many reasons why Nigel is standing again. It's this line of question, this assumption from people like you that he's done something wrong. Nigel has been quite clear, he's done nothing wrong. The investigation will find in his favour, I strongly believe that, and the people of Clacton will re-elect him with a bigger majority.
If the investigation finds in Nigel Farage's favour, then that would have answered the question, won't it? If Nigel Farage runs, as he is going to do in a by-election, he may well be re-elected. He'll face the very same...
I don't know why you keep talking about this issue. Nobody's talking about it in the real world.
Well, forgive me, Lee. You'll know that many people are talking about it.
What is the matter with you people keep talking about this? Nobody on the doorstep is talking about this.
All right. Well, let me just address that, because you raised the question, and if that's the case, that nobody cares and it doesn't matter, it is worth addressing. And look, my colleague here at Times Radio, Ollie Cole, has been watching the reaction of the public, watching social media for political and public reaction. Ollie, what can you say in response to what you're hearing from Lee?
Well, I was just wondering, Lee, if nobody is talking about it on the doorstep and it's a non-issue, why has Nigel Farage caused this by-election? He seems that it's an issue. He's spoken about it for a fair few minutes at 2 o'clock today.
Well, this is basically so Nigel can let the people of Clacton deliver their verdict on whether or not he should be the MP for Clacton and not the establishment in Westminster. It is as simple as that.
Well, the logic of your position, Lee, and tell me if I've got this wrong, is that any minister in government, any politician in opposition or in any other position can receive as many £1 million as they like in private gifts, and it's of no question, it's of no significance to anyone when they come back into politics and when they are making policy, which is very relevant to those giving the gifts. I know he was not in Parliament at the time, but he very shortly afterwards was, and now he's a contender for the highest office in the land.
He received a gift. He's done nothing wrong. The parliamentary standards will investigate it. He will get cleared, and he will be re-elected as a member of Parliament of Clacton. I mean, I don't know if you understand plain English, John. That is plain English, and that's my position.
Lee, can I just, in plain English, sort of just talk about the direction of where we're going here, which is, if the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner will find that Farage has done nothing wrong, why impose a by-election on the public that they apparently don't want and they don't care about?
Well, I've just explained that to you about 2 minutes ago. I don't know if you was paying attention.
But it doesn't. What I'm saying, Lee, is it doesn't really make sense. It either matters or it doesn't.
You've asked me a question. Give me the courtesy of giving you an answer. I've said it before. Nigel's called this by-election so the people of Clacton can deliver their verdict, not the establishment in Westminster. It is as simple as that.
But your view is also that the public don't care about it, and the establishment in Westminster will find that he is cleared.
No. You see, you're just making stuff up now. The people care. The people of Clacton care about Nigel. I think he is elected on about 46, 47% of the vote in Clacton that last general election. I think at this general election, he's going to get over 50% of the vote. This will just reaffirm their support for Nigel Farage.
All right, last question, and again, thank you for your time in joining us today. I want to just finally point to a point you raised yourself when you said you were confident that the Standards Commissioner, as and when he is required to look at this question again, he'll reach a verdict. And if that verdict happens, and we don't know, do we? But if that verdict happens to be that Nigel Farage was in breach of the rules and that this £5 million gift, maybe others, they should have been declared, will you accept that? Straightforward, yes or no?
You're talking about something that's not happened yet. I tell you what, give me a call when the investigation's over and we'll discuss it then, shall we? In the meantime, just crack on, mate.
All right, well, we will take you up on that offer. We will give you another call, and I know that you will come back and talk to us again. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.